Hi, my name is Deanna Runyan Wall, and I am with Stitches Quilting, your online fabric store for quilting. Our website address is www.stitchesquilting.com. Today we're going to have a lesson on how to cut for quilting. So it's really hard to cut to make a quilt and just use scissors. It'll get frustrating. It won't be accurate, and you just won't be able to spin out a project as quickly as you can with the right tools. So that's what we want to talk about today, is using the right tools for cutting and how to get a good, accurate cut. There's two things that are important in quilting: cutting your fabric accurately, and then also making sure your seam allowance is always the same, which quilters typically use a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And I'll show you later a 1/4 inch foot. Right now, let's just focus on the cutting. At Stitches Quilting, our favorite cutter that we use, and the only one that we carry, is an Olfa Rotary Cutter. It's an ergonomic design, so it's very comfortable to use in your hand. You squeeze it and the blade comes out. You can lock it so that the blade can never come out. If a child picked this up, or if you accidentally grabbed it on the wrong edge, you won't hurt yourself because these are very, very sharp blades. You can also lock it so that it stays open, so you aren't constantly squeezing something or putting your thumb up to get the blade out. So that's why we prefer this particular rotary cutter. The other thing that I prefer is the 42-inch blade that we have here. And I like this size of blade because it can cut through several different layers of fabric, which is what we do in quilting, or it can cut easily through things like chenille or minky or other fun fabrics that we love to include in our quilts, that make the designs pop and just be really interesting. So that's one of the very first tools that we have. Another one is an Olfa lipped edge ruler. I like this ruler to be long, so I have, this is 5 inches wide by 24 inches long. It's a lip ruler, so it's almost like a T-square, where when you bring it up against the edge of the mat, it will square up and it won't move. And that's really nice because in quilting, you try to just buy as many supplies as you need. And so when you accidentally make a cut and the ruler kind of spins on you, then you've got some fabric that you have to replace, or you don't have enough, and it just gets frustrating when you're doing that. So it's nice to have a lipped edge ruler that's almost like a T-square, a drafting type tool. The other thing you need is a mat, a cutting mat board. The mat board makes it so that you can roll this very sharp blade on a mat board and it won't cut or heal it. There's also, what we carry on stitchesquilting.com is a self-healing mat board. So it really works out great. So those are your 3 main items that you need to get. And now we're going to go ahead and talk about how to start cutting. Hi! This is a bolt of fabric that we're going to use to demonstrate cutting. This is fabric that is by Timeless Treasures. It has lemons on it, and it has a really sweet periwinkle blue background. If you are interested in purchasing any of this, it is online on the internet for sale on the website, so we can go ahead and share that with you. When you get your bolt of fabric from a quilting store, what they typically do is they fold the selvages up to that folded edge. And what we're going to do is, I have a bolt here, but we are going to actually cut a 1/2 yard of fabric, because at home you've got cuts of fabric, so you're not usually working with a full bolt of fabric. So I'm going to bring this over here to the edge, and I never really bring my fabric all the way down and cover up the numbers. For one, I don't want the blade to be quite that close to my body, and 2, I can't read my numbers real well. So I'm going to bring that over to the edge, and I'm going to cut just a 1/2 yard of fabric for us to work with. Let me go ahead and cut that. Okay, now, so what we're going to do is, even though we just gave a fresh cut to this, I have folded it up, and it's important to really cut your edge so it's really a clean, straight edge. So I am going to squeeze this, lock my rotary cutter so that it's in good form. And I'm going to trim this off and then just discard this piece of fabric. You can see now we are working with a very straight edge of fabric. And what's important in quilting is that you want things sewn and cut accurately and precisely. When you're working with an edge like this in quilting, it is just so easy to sew it and to get your 1/4 inch seam and be consistent, and all your squares match up and your seams all match up. So say you have a pattern and it asks for 3 strips 2 inches each. You would go ahead and look on the mat here. I prefer cutting on my right hand side because I'm right-handed. You'll find that, you know, maybe you like cutting on the left or maybe you like cutting on the right. You'll kind of get the feel for that later on. What you do want to do is just make sure that you hold this ruler real nice and firmly. And I'm going to give myself 2 inches right here. I am at the edge of my fabric is at the 25-inch mark. I've got it lined up on the grid so it's nice and straight. I'm going to put my ruler on the 23 down here, and I can see that the top of the ruler is up here at the 23 on the top. And then I'm going to hold my ruler firmly so it doesn't move, and I'm going to just cut along the edge of the ruler with the cutter. You can see now we have got a perfect 2-inch strip of fabric. So say your pattern asks for 4 strips of 2-inch fabric, you would do that 4 times and have very precise strips to then work with. Let's go ahead and do a 3-inch strip. I've got 1, 2, and 3 inches there. I'm at number 23. I'm going over to 20. I'm making sure that this is up against the mat on the lip edge, and it matches up here on the 20, and I'm following my line, and we're now going to get a 3-inch strip. This is how you cut. It's just very, very simple. Having the right tools and this small investment that you make in quilting, it will just save you so much time and so much frustration to be able to cut fabric 4 layers through all at the same time and just have it be perfectly straight. You can see here is our 3-inch strip and here is our 2-inch strip. So you can cut any number of strips just like that. This is a basic video for you about cutting. We're going to have more videos for you on cutting different triangles, different other different things, but I wanted to go over the 3 basic tools that you need for cutting and quilting. And I wish you the best of luck, and may the work of your hands delight the soul. And if you need any type of supplies or fabrics